Hey, everybody.
Mind if I grab some water real quick?
Oh, yeah, please do.
Thank you.
Fucking raccoons. Yeah, my intern always tells me, you should put like makeup on and shit. And it's like, why? He's like, you
Why?
look like a fucking raccoon, is what he says. Do I look like a raccoon right now? Kind
No,
of.
how old are you?
Oh, God. I look really fucking old, right? Is that what you're about to say? No, you don't look like a raccoon. You look very old. Is that what you're about to say?
No, how old are you? Like 34?
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm way older than that.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I try to tell because you have black hair. You don't have a strand of gray.
Oh, it's
So
because you don't see them. If I get. No. No, this lighting
it's
is really good.
lighting. Can't really tell. On top of that, you look Asian too. So,
Oh, you think so? I think I'm part Filipino. My mom won't admit it.
Uh-huh.
She says, "Oh, we're Mexican," but somehow I don't believe her.
No, you look part Asian. So that's why I was like, it's kind of hard to tell your age.
I'm 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 39.
Oh, wow.
Pretty,
I'm very surprised.
yeah, that's good. How old are you? Can I ask you that?
I'm 21.
21.
I'm 22 in October.
Right on. All right, so shall we begin?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna do like a little intro thing, so I don't have to edit it later.
No worries.
Hey, everybody. Another interview because I know you guys want to hear them and see them. Actually, yeah. Today, this week, we have Venus Lux on the show. I'm very excited to have her on. I know you guys are really excited because look at her. Um, Venus, hello. Thanks for being on the show.
Hi, how are you? Thank you for having me.
I'm very well. Thank you for being on. Let's. I want to talk about you, but before we do that, I just want to get it out in the open. You are a porn star
In the making, yes.
in the making. I like that. I like that you said that because most porn stars they go hell yeah porn star. Um,
Mhm.
so you're new to the business? Is that what you're saying?
I'm very new. I'm fresh out the oven.
Yeah.
I joined in like May, so yeah, really new.
When you say joined, do you have to like sign like you have to join a club or what does that mean?
No. I decided, I guess. I decided to join the industry.
In the industry, okay, I love it. Um, we'll talk about that in a second. I want to know a little bit about you. Obviously, you're Asian. That's something that
No, really. I'm
yeah,
Asian?
yeah. Shut up. Everybody loves that, right? That's like instant. Like you're like 1 foot in the door for stardom. Um,
Yeah,
you look really good. Instant stardom. You have
thanks.
you have big boobies. Instant stardom, right?
Trying to cover it up a little
I
bit.
know. and you and and you have a penis.
Surprise.
Surprise, motherfuckers! No, no, they already know because when I say porn star, they all know that there's going to be a penis that's going to be involved. All right. Um, where you from?
I'm born and raised in San Francisco.
And that's where you're at right now?
I guess that's where I'm staying at right now. Trying to move to LA soon, but need to work out the kinks.
Um, what did you do before? What kind of you are a porn star now? What have you done other than this?
I've done a lot. I was like a sommelier apprentice once. I
That's
worked
the
in
wine thing.
wine,
Yeah, yeah.
yes. I used to sell wine. I used to, serve wine and do tasting classes and whatnot. Besides that, I was also a stripper, which is before I became a porn star. Before being a stripper was being a sommelier apprentice, and after that, before that, I worked as a server for a catering company. But yeah, just mainly retail and hospitality my whole life. So yeah,
Yeah. Did you go to school or all that? Like for that, like the wine thing, I can't say the word. I'm not even gonna attempt to say because I'm gonna mosh it up.
sommelier.
Yeah, there
It's
you go.
French.
Yeah, I know. I'm not gonna mosh it. I'm not gonna try. I'm not gonna mosh
No
it up.
worries.
The wine thing, that's big stuff, right? Like that's not an easy thing to become.
No, it requires years of training and knowledge and experience. It takes a while. For me, I wouldn't say I'm a sommelier. I would not say that. I would say I know enough about wine to judge characteristics and whatnot. But I'm no expert. I know a bit about wine.
Can I ask you some wine questions really quick? Because I like to drink wine, and I like to drink cheap wine. And I don't know, like I don't because I
That's
have no.
perfectly good.
I like to get drunk. Is basically what I'm trying to say. Obviously, look at this face. Um, I like to drink wine. Everybody knows this about me.
Uh-huh.
Um, and I like to drink cheap wine. And I've everybody always asks me, why don't you just go buy something really expensive because it's better? Is that true? I don't think so.
No, there's some cheap wines that are pretty good. It depends on quality, grape, of the quality of the grape, what type of grape, producer, where it comes from, and how is it made, how is it grown. There's a lot of factors to wine, and it's not just wine. It's almost like soda. Not all sodas are the same. Yes, they may have bubbles in it, but it's all different spices and herbs to make it unique. So same concept.
I pride myself on being able to drink whatever, like anything and whatever. But there's one thing I cannot drink, and it's something that I've stumbled upon called this sweet red wine. And there's
Sure.
some, is that what that is? There's something about it that just makes me like, oh, like I can't drink it. Why is that? What's different about that?
I don't know. Just imagine it as grape juice.
Oh God, I can't do it. I put it in my mouth. It's like, oh, I can't do it.
I would say that'd be great for addition for like sangria. If you just put some fruits in it, then it'll help it much more easier for you to kind of drink it. And actually, combines pretty well. So it complements each other.
Right on. How has being this wine apprentice, I'm going to just say wine apprentice, I don't much the word up. How has that and all the other things that you've done helped you in what you're doing now?
I worked really hard to get where I was because all these jobs I had to find it myself, and I wasn't actually the first. I wasn't the person that they were originally wanted to hire. So, like for a catering company, I started off as doing paperwork, and from there they're like, "Oh, okay, hey, do you want to, make some extra money serving?" And then for being a stripper, I was recommended by a friend. I didn't just go in to say, "Hey, I want to be a stripper." And also, when it comes to a wine apprentice, I started off as a cashier. So all these jobs, I didn't really start off originally. I actually had to work my ass off for it years. So for everything I usually do, I'm interested in. Anything that's boring, I really don't pay no attention to. So it has to be something worthwhile for me to partake. So yeah, made me a hardworking person.
Nice.
So,
So you,
sorry, there's sirens.
it's okay. That's just how it works, right? It's
Yeah.
big city life. Um,
Uh-huh.
you, you said you were a stripper. I know you're from San Francisco. This is some. I know people. The first thing people are probably asking themselves, listening or watching this right now, is, you said you were a stripper. We know you're transsexual. At what point did you know, start living a life as a female? And what
Um,
were you stripping as as a female?
yes, I was stripping as a female, as a transgender female. And I transitioned at the cusp between 19 and 20. I'm 20, turning 22 now. So about almost 3 years ago.
So you're sort of kind of full, like transition. When you say transition, you mean full blown, like you are now living the life
Hormones.
100%. Okay, that's what the transition point means.
Yes.
That's when you start taking
Hmm.
that. So when 3 years ago, when you were a cashier, I'm assuming that's when you were that.
No, I was 3 years ago. I was like doing cashier,
Uh-huh.
and on top of that, I was doing other ton of things. But yeah.
So
Hmm.
I guess my question is, you know, in the middle of America, if you were in like Nebraska or something, being
Hmm.
transgender or making the transition, trying to get a job as like, is probably a little difficult, in the business world. Whereas in San Francisco, is it a lot easier? Like, is it just not an issue at all?
Good question. Here it's a little bit more lenient. It's a little more open. Yes, you'll still encounter ignorant people, but it's all perception. How you gauge it. If you have a confidence that that people like, and you have personality. I know plenty of people. Whether they're pretty or not, they have jobs. it's a matter of worth, ethnic and confidence, and how about how you portray yourself, if you're a good person or if you're a bitch. So I would say it's different. It applies differently for every person. It's all about what you put into it. If you want something out of it, you have to put in the effort.
What does your
So,
family think about your transition?
um, I'm beginning. I know I talk to my mom. I don't talk to my dad,
Yeah.
but I talked to my mom, and when I first transitioned about it, and she was not very, accepting of it, because the fact that it's very taboo in our culture, which is Chinese culture. I was raised Chinese. And that's why you don't really see that many Chinese transsexuals. You probably see a lot of Japanese and Thai, and Filipino, but not many Chinese. So yeah, it was really taboo. She always got my pronouns wrong. She kept addressing me as my old name, and so it's like I kept educating her. It's a matter of patience, and accepting, and on top of that, and assuring that that even though I may look different outside, I'm not different on inside. Because I was still able to have a life, as in have money in my pockets, make a living, have friends, and not be an outcast, So I still have a life, but it may not be the same life or the same face, Um, so I just kind of have to kind of guide her a little bit on how my life is now. And then right now, she's very supportive, 100% supportive. It's a matter of just time and to rebuild trust, because I felt that she lost trust in me after doing something that's kind of in her eyes defiles our tradition and culture. So, and she's a very traditional parent. So yeah, but today, no complaints so far.
So your father, he's lost cause, like he's super cultural, and that's not going to happen.
I haven't seen my father for a long while. I haven't seen him since I was 15.
Okay, so
He's somewhere in China right now.
okay, so he's somewhere else. So
I
your
don't know.
mom, so he's like not even part of your mom's life.
Pardon?
He's not even part of your mom's life.
No,
Okay,
no.
so he's just somewhere else. Do you have brothers and sisters?
I have. I'm an only child between my mother and my father. I have step siblings.
Okay.
Two step brothers, younger, one from each side. So I just usually talk to them, one on my mom's side.
Have you ever encountered any discrimination or anything like that in your life?
Oh yeah.
What's the worst thing
I
that's happened to you?
I would say the most. Well, I would say had the most horrifying, but I think what really was a moment of truth. How the world is when I first started to interested in transitioning. Like, I grew up traditional, so I had no idea what transgender or transsexual meant. I thought it was all grouped in with drag queen. So it's like, oh, drag queen is a transsexual too. But so when I got more educated through one of my best friends, I started, trying it out, as in putting on clothes and a wig, and wanted to go out. So basically cross-dressing, in layman's terms, and going out and gauging, my feelings and gauging how people react to me. And then there was an incident where I was trying to go catch the bus, go back home with my friends, where a group of kids, young teenagers, gangster kids, pull a prank on me and try to tug on my hair, because it was, they thought, they knew it was like a wig, it looked like a wig. So that was one very embarrassing, but that was a moment of truth where I could have even said, you know what, this is too scary, I'm not going to do this. But I was really lost at that time. I really wanted to seek my identity, so I went with it. I was like, fuck it, I'm not going to let this bother me. I'm going to go ahead and keep doing this and pushing forward, and just be more careful of where I go, and just dress more accordingly, because I think I wore like a really, really slutty bopper outfit with like tight jeans and like, like tube top and like a hoodie jacket with fur on it. So it's just a little bit too much. So yeah, that was one of my, I think so far the most memorable discriminative experience.
There's a whole lot of words. You said, transsexuals. You brought up cross dressing. I think is
Uh-huh.
all these terms, right? One of the questions
Mhm.
I like to ask when we have somebody on the show, or transsexual or transgender, is
Uh-huh.
how do you feel about the word tranny, and what is the word that is the worst thing someone can call you?
Okay, tranny doesn't matter. Me and my girlfriend call each other trannies, so it's like, oh, she's a tranny, like whatever. But I would say the most offensive is when they call us a dude. Like, oh, you're a dude. Oh, you're a guy. Or you're a man. That really kind of sets off, a nerve. Because it's just like, I work so hard to get to where I am today, to find my identity and to transition, and for you to call me a man is really fucked up.
Yeah.
I'm like, I always have to tell them, like, okay, if I'm a man, why do I have titties?
Hmm.
So, and what the hell? So do I look like a girl? Do I sound like a girl? Did you know I was, if I had a cock between my legs? No. So it's not like I'm going to whip it out. So with that said, I identify as a girl. I live this day and night. This is my real hair. I don't take it off. There's not no fake boobs where I can just, take it off, like tissue paper. But yeah, it's a matter of just education and patience. I get, every T girl, we call each other T girls, um, will have their experience and have their moment where, some ignorant person will call, oh, you're a man, or oh, you're a guy. And it's sometimes you have the opportunity to educate, and sometimes you don't. You kind of have to suck it up. So yeah.
Interesting. Let's get into your career now, I guess. How do you get from, you're a porn star, you do
Uh,
pornography. How do you get from stripping? I'm assuming stripping is the step before you became the porn star.
yes.
How does that happen? How did your transition from I take off my clothes in a club or whatever you did to now I'm having sex for money?
Well, the thing with stripping, I did that, and then it got tiring, and it got really boring, and then I took a break, and after that, I went escorting, and then that's how I got recruited. Um, um, a recruiting scout at kink.com found me and was like, hey, or would you be interested in, performing? And then he gave me a detail, though, the armory. I'm like, oh, wow, okay. I'm very curious, because I know Evelyn.
Oh,
So,
yeah, I talked to her before.
yeah, so this is right after she started working for Kink. So I was like, oh wow, so okay, she just worked for Kink and now they're recruiting people. I'm like, okay, I'm because me and Evelyn used to work at the same club together, and so we kind of talk now and then. But then so I was like, okay, so she's doing it, I'll maybe why not give it a try? She seems like she's pretty happy and successful, so why not give it a try? So yeah, from there it just exploded. And then to LA, to shooting, multiple companies, and then now many projects, and then so it's been gratifying to see the outcome of taking the risk and trying it out. So
Yeah, that's
that's what
cool.
happened.
That's cool. After what you just said, I thought coming into my head. So there is the kink.com. I hear this a lot. Like this is obviously one of the main um, places or businesses that
Mm-hmm.
have transgender, transsexual pornography going on. Correct?
Well,
Kink,
San Francisco
right?
is only porn company in San Francisco,
Oh, okay.
anyways.
Oh, okay. So I find it quite interesting that there is a recruitment that goes on. So they like troll around, like looking for like escorts and stuff like that, like people that are on the verge. Because escorting is like maybe I'm wrong, but is escorting like almost sex for money? It's like
No,
right on the cusp, no?
very different. It's very different. It really varies on, what type of escorting, There are some who actually go out and just go on dates. Usually what I do is I go on dates. Like guys who want to, oh, I want to take out, have coffee with you. I want to get to know you. I want to see what you're all about. Usually I get a lot of guys who are first timers who are really educated and I really want to have the experience you know, and be with a T girl and know how it's like and gauge, as in, how did you become a T girl? Does this consider making me gay or, so it's a matter of who you meet, and where you're advertising to. So,
So, but kink.com and other, and I'm assuming other businesses that do pornography around, California, around the world for that
mm-hmm.
matter, they have an arm that actually goes out and like looks for people, like recruits people. I've always been
Yeah,
in it.
random people I think from all over, either on web or in person. I didn't even know that they had a recruitment program at all. So with that said, I was like, okay, very interesting. I did not know porn companies did recruiting.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, sure. So and I asked him like, what made you decide to choose me? Because it was kind of odd. It was very random out of blue. And so he's like, oh, well, we're just looking for, trannies, pretty trannies who are interested in performing, blah, 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 and, who's popular and what's going on in the city, who's interested, So I don't know. Recently, I've been recruiting a lot of new girls, so I guess, the recruitment thing is actually doing
It's
good
doing good,
for the
yeah.
company they have.
Well, do you jump right into when you get you're recruited? You go to do the first. I guess you go to your first shoot. I guess is the term. Do you jump right into full blown like sex, or does it start off in like you know what I mean? Like, do you just
Oh,
do they give you like is it like, okay, well, today's your first day, get ready to fuck, or
um,
is it like, oh, you know what, you can do like you know I don't know, blowjobs or whatever. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know. I don't know the difference between like porno where you're just
Mm-hmm.
fucking. I can say, okay, like in heterosexual pornography, you'll watch pornography and that's strictly just in the pussy, right? And
Uh-huh.
then there's the pornography that, oh, we're gonna do it in the ass. And then there's the porno where there's two dudes and one. You know what I mean? It gets different levels of what you're willing to do.
Uh-huh. It's pretty open. It's very liberal. Unless there's like a two word, unless they're looking for, unless the company or photographer is looking for something specific. But it's pretty much they work with what you're comfortable doing, and as long as you can, get the job done, as in performing, and then pop shot.
Mhm.
Every photographer, every company works differently. Sometimes they're short on time and they jump into it. Sometimes they're very structured, where it's like, okay, we have a timeline. We get this done. Go get your makeup. Go get dressed, wardrobe, meet here, photo shoots, yada yada. So usually, you either show up with your makeup done or you show up to get your makeup done, and then clothes, and after that, pictures to video, and then to more pictures,
Wow,
and then maybe some more video, and then you're done.
that's a long
Very
process.
very simple, actually. If
Yeah.
you look at
Mhm.
it's a long duration. It's probably like 5-6 hours
Wow.
of all this. Just for one video.
Of all of the steps that you go through to make a video, what's the
hmm
most fun for you?
Most fun step of,
Yeah, of the
I
whole
would say,
process.
getting to know. Usually, for how I usually work is, in order for me to provide excellent entertainment, I would like to have some chemistry with my partner, whoever I'm working with, whether it be a girl, a tranny, or a guy. So I usually like to sit down and talk, get to know the person, his or her turn ons, turn offs, what feels good, what doesn't, what things he or she may be interested in trying. So I go off of that, and then we kind of exchange information on that. And then it helps build chemistry to the point where, when you're on set filming, it makes a very intense experience. And the viewers can see, the audience can see it, It's not superficial to that degree where it's like, oh, wow, it's just like any other porn scene, If there's passion and there's intimacy and there's some romance to it, it makes it more hyped up. So
You,
yeah.
you mentioned if you're having sex with girls. I had Tiffany Starr on one time, and she said that one of the things that gets her jobs is that she is capable and more than willing to have sex with women. And I've had other stars on say that that's not necessarily the thing that they're really into. I did
Uh-huh.
I did Google your name and I did look at some pictures and I stumbled upon one where you were having sex with the female. And
Uh-huh.
is that something that you are into, or is it just something you will do and or can
Mm,
do
it's
for?
work. I'm a very versatile person. There's always things I'm willing to try. I would just say I'm curious. I just say that. I can't really say that girls don't turn me on, and I can't really say that girls do turn me on, because there's some moments where I'm like, oh, I do not want to lick that pussy, or they'd be like, oh yeah, I want to make out with her. So I'm still trying to gauge what really interests me about girls. Um, so it really varies between girls to girls, chemistry wise, looks, smell, attitude, so a lot, I guess I'm naturally a sensual person, so I look for, quality characteristics that, make a person attractive, opposed to just, looks itself.
Is that something that the transsexual pornography industry looks for?
As
Is having
T
sex? Yeah, are they like looking for stars
Tigger
to have
girl.
sex with women? Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's something new to where I would say I think it's been going on for a while. It's just a matter of just hasn't been had much exposure, and I think right now, since the generation is changing, I think people are building to building that mindset of wanting to see a T girl
Hmm.
with a girl. It makes it much more um, intense, more attractive, and different too, because when you look at it, it looks like two girls, but then when you look closer, one of them is a T girl, So I think, in a way, it's awesome that they're reintroducing this concept of T girl on girl, and it makes people more educated, more open minded about T girls, you know.
Is there anything that, since you've been doing pornography, is there
Mm-hmm.
anything that you've been asked to do that you haven't wanted to do, or that you refuse to do?
Mm. There are things that I don't want to do, but I kind of do it anyways, just to make sure that I produce, exceptional performance. Such as reverse doggy, no, reverse cowgirl position,
Hmm.
where both the guy and the girl are facing the camera
Hmm.
and they're fighting.
Hmm.
That's the most uncomfortable position, but I do it anyways. Just to make it's like it's fucking hot. If I were a guy to jack off to that scene, I would want that. I would
Hmm.
want to watch that, so that's why I do it anyways. It's work. It's almost like actors,
Uh-huh.
actresses. There's things that they don't want to do, but they do it just so they can make it an awesome movie.
That's interesting. So basically, you don't like doing that position because it's just uncomfortable to do.
It's uncomfortable. It gives me gas.
Oh yeah, it literally gives you gas. That's rad.
It does, because like it's like an awkward position. You're like this, and it's like your cock is like going into your ass. It's like pumping air into it,
Uh-huh.
and it makes you feel kind of bloated. I'm like, oh my god, like just get it out, just
Wow, that's
it out.
interesting.
But
I love it. I love that kind of shit. That's the kind of stuff I like. Like I like hearing that kind of stuff because it makes it really real.
uh-huh.
Um, how long do you plan on doing pornography?
Um,
You're
I
still
don't.
young. You're pretty young still. You're like, you're getting
Yeah,
in at the right
yeah.
spot.
I'm playing. I just say I don't know for now. I don't want to be in porn too long. I come from a business background. I'm coming into the industry with a business mindset. So I have a lot of big ambitions and goals for the industry. So I think no matter what, I'll be around porn, but I may not be shooting or performing porn for my whole life, you know. So yeah, I like to take part in other things like directing and producing my own porn.
One of the things that I noticed about porn stars lately, and with the internet especially, it makes it seems as if the transition from working for people and then working for yourself can happen really early in one's career, whereas before it was like you're just somebody's employee. You know,
Yeah.
I spoke to Sunshine Monroe last week, and
Hmm.
she said she has a full blown website, and she's made it seem as if if I recall, I think she said she's been really doing this for only a year, and that she's got her own website. She does her own shoots. She can decide what and when she does them, etc. Is this?
Hmm.
I didn't find a website for you, and is that am I did I just not find it, and or is that
You know
something you
what?
want to do?
It actually, my website's under construction right now. I'm actually shooting content for it. What these, excuse me,
Yeah.
what these other girls, I think, like Sunshine Monroe, I think she is part of SMC Productions, you know. Um, for me, I actually am not sponsored by any company such as SMC or Groovy. I'm actually building my own legitimate business myself. I own 100%, shares of my company. I'm not so sure about Sunshine Monroe, but it is a matter of confidence, charisma, and fan base, and for me, I am new to this industry, but it's a matter of just thinking smart, thinking like a business, how to market yourself. You're treating yourself as a product. So you need to think smart on what better ways to sell yourself and how much are you worth. So, for me, I'm taking the longer road, and the tougher road, but, I see, good prospects in the future if I run my own company and I don't just direct, my videos and perform. I also manage the promotions, managing budgeting, profits, and overhead. You name it, it comes out all my pocket. I don't have any partners, nothing. I pay people to shoot, so it's legitimately my company. Um, so I don't know if any other T girls are porn stars are doing this too. I don't know. I I heard that Jonah Jett does, and she's pretty self-made. So I don't know, but this is my plan. This is my ambition. So hopefully it goes well in the future.
Right on, right on. So what you're saying is there is a website in the works.
Yes, it'll be. My plan will be launching it on my birthday or by my birthday, which is October. My birthday's on October 10th, so I'm trying to have it before then, so I can have time to celebrate.
Mhm.
So that's my deadline. It'll be Venus Lux triple X. So yeah, it'll be up soon. I just need to post more updates until when I shoot more content for it.
So right now online, if someone wants to find you, where are they going to go to? Your Twitter? Is that where they're at? I
My
know you have
Twitter
Facebook.
now, I know, it really sucks. I'm frustrated with my web designer right now,
Mhm.
stalling. But yeah, it has, just keep updated on my Twitter. And I'll always post new pictures and updates and what's going on. Also, my YouTube channel. On my YouTube channel, I always, give weekly to bi-weekly updates of what's going on, especially, info on my website, when it'll be launching and what type of content, and
And if
etc.
they want to find you on YouTube, it's all everything's Venus Lux. Venus Lux.
Mina Slacks,
Venus
yes.
Lux. Okay,
Hmm.
that's easy enough, right? What is your fan base like right now? I mean, without a website, only Twitter and a YouTube,
Uh-huh.
it's got to be kind of hard to maintain a fan base, correct?
Yes, it is. It's through PR, so it's doing more publicity events. When I have a lot of done a lot of DVDs
Hmm.
that will be coming out soon. And with that, it's just marketing those and promoting those and doing DVD signings. You have to build it, you know. You don't automatically just get it unless you're probably like Jenna Jameson, you know, or something like that, you know, where she just commands, you know, thousands of people, you know. So it's, on top of that, there's not much content out there of me. Um, to say that there's a, you know, I can have a, you know, a huge fan base.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm working on it.
Yeah.
It's a work in progress, and I'm very sure that in a couple more months, it'll be bigger than what it is now for sure.
I'm sure once your DVDs and your website are up, it's going to blow up for sure, right? I mean,
That's the plan.
that's the
One big
plan.
blow.
If you got a plan, that's you're one step ahead of most people. Shit.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's cool. So we're looking at October for like the big debut of your website, and can we expect videos sooner than later, or are we waiting for that?
There'll be content released from multiple websites and companies slowly by weekly or monthly. I don't know. It's the company's discretion when they want to release my content as an update. But right now, you just gotta wait and see. And I'll be posting new pictures for the content that I'll be shooting for my website for sure on Twitter. Um, so yeah.
Looking forward to those for sure. Um,
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I like to do is I like everybody that I have on the show, no matter what they do or or where they're from. I ask them a few questions because I feel like these questions are ones that make me figure out what you're like or what you're really about. Do you mind answering these few questions?
No, ask anything.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing really intense or anything. Here's the
Uh-huh.
first one: Are unicorns overrated?
Unicorns, I don't think they're rated enough.
Okay, that's nice. What is your favorite alcoholic beverage?
Disarona on the rocks.
That's good stuff, man. You know what I like to do is I like to put that on ice cream, on vanilla ice cream. Oh, it's so fucking good.
Oh yeah,
Um,
for sure.
oh fuck. Have you ever been so drunk you fell down?
I got so drunk that I passed out.
That's close enough.
Close enough.
Yeah. What's the weirdest thing about you?
Wow. Tricky question. Weird thing about me. There's a lot of weird things about me.
And just name it. What's a weird thing about you that nobody knows about, or that everybody
That
knows about? Shit.
I love games. I love games. I love hunting. Like fishing. I love commercial fishing, and recreational fishing, and video games and card games. Anything nerdy, I kind of attached to.
This is interesting because I saw on your, I think it was Twitter. I like looked down your Twitter feed and I think it was Twitter, and you were talking about. No, is it? It's on a profile somewhere. I'm trying to think profile somewhere, and I was like, "What is that? Like, what is that?" And I digged a little deeper. No, no, you know what?
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry. You know what it was? It was last night. Your Twitter account. We sort of had a small conversation last night, right?
Uh-huh.
Right at a certain point. And I do this thing on my blog where I call it a conversation with Ronnie Rucker, right? And I always look
Uh-huh.
for like conversations that I have throughout the day on Twitter, and I like to post it because I like to show people, put people out there. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like no matter who
Yeah.
you are, I'm really my whole show and everything kind of revolves around the listeners and the people that are on it, and I like to just give people a chance to be seen, and no matter who they are. So last night I went through all the conversations, yours being one of them, and when I went and looked, I saw that your Twitter updated a thing, and it was like use my promo code for this, and I was like, what is this? And I like delved deeper into it, and it's like some sort of like Magic the Gathering kind of game.
Oh yeah, yeah. I actually still play Magic the Gathering
Okay.
on PS3.
This is interesting. What is it about? Okay, I'm not. It's
Okay,
probably wrong to
Pokemon,
pigeonhole.
Yu-Gi-Oh card.
I know what they're all about.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: Tiffany Starr,
Mhm.
Wendy Summers, you, super into fucking these games. And to tell you the truth, I don't know anybody personally that are into these games, and I've never been around them. I've never had the opportunity to play. Maybe I could get into it if I had the chance. What is it about? these card games or that are so cool or what that you find fascinating?
I'm a very cerebral person, so I need to really have, consistent mental stimulation. So with that said, via, cell phone, which is more very conveniently accessible and for entertainment wise, I play this game, which is about cards and you fight, other players and you build your deck and you get, better cards or, higher powers, and there are some tactics to it, where you have to kind of configure your numbers and attack, and it's it's if you look at in my through my eyes, it's very simple. It's just very stimulating, to a point where you kind of include some math into it, to some building strategies and tactics, and along with um, I don't know, along with consistency, you make sure that you're on top of it. It's I don't know how to say it. It's almost like a daily routine how people need to like go brush their teeth. It's for me it's for me I have to kind of wake up in the morning and play this game. Kind of get my mind stimulated to wake up, and get ready to process things. It's almost like a exercise.
That's interesting. Yeah, haven't gotten into it or had the opportunity to be exposed to it enough to probably have a chance to decide if could get into it or not. But I saw that and I was like, what is this that I'm looking at? And I had to go a little deeper. I, I probably, Mark the intern probably would have known right off the bat when he saw what it was called. But yeah, I was like, what is this? I gotta do a little research on this one. Interesting.
Don't bother. You'll waste your time.
Yeah.
Games are fun when you have free time, but otherwise, there's more important things to
Yeah.
focus
Oh
on
my
than
god.
these
Yeah.
silly stuff.
Everybody wants me to play Words with Friends with them all the time. Like I get so
Oh,
much
I
play.
hate that
Oh my
game.
god.
Oh,
I can play games. Like I can play games, but
mm-hmm.
I'm very impatient, so I can't
Oh,
wait for
too.
somebody else to make a move. I
Yeah.
tried Word with Friends, and the moment
I,
I had to wait 2 days for someone to make a move was the
oh
moment
yeah.
that I threw it away. It's like fuck this game. Like this game is not cool.
That's play single player games, which is like the game what I'm playing, Rage of Bahamut,
Yeah,
and
that's the one.
yeah, and the Legend of Cryptic, something like that. So yeah, check those games out. Go on iPhone and look under popular free games.
That's cool. So those are the games that you would suggest if there's someone watching this right now that are into games. Are those the games you would suggest? And are you like super PlayStation and all that too? Like, do you have console games?
I have everything: console, PC, iPhone, every single game, type of game. But so far, I bought this new game, Diablo 3. Everyone's been raging about it. I've been playing that, and I've been playing like Final Fantasy on my PS3. I play gun games too. But I used to be a huge fan of World of Warcraft. I don't know if you've heard of it.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, I was so addicted to it. But I have to have a life, so I had to kind of relinquish that other life, that fantasy life. That's why I'm trying to stay too attached to my games, because I have so many responsibilities on the other side. But right now, free time wise, I would say games on my iPhone and games on my laptop, like Diablo 3 and Diablo 2 and Counter Strike. So
So, if is are those part of your everyday life? What is a regular day? Like, say a day that you don't have to, you know, you don't have really a responsibility. For instance, like I have Sundays I like to keep for me are very very not so responsible, and so on a day where you don't have things that are really important to do, what is that day like for you? What is like a super down day for you like?
it's actually that's kind of like today. After this, I'm gonna go actually head to the park. That's my downtime. I really, because my life is so chaotic. There's so much going on, and I'm traveling all over and meeting so many people. My downtime is to kind of break away from everyone and everything, and for for me to do that is to go horseback riding in Half Moon Bay, or go to Golden Gate Park and go for a stroll and have an ice cream cone. Normal, simple stuff, where it's simple basics of happiness, where you kind of take advantage of it and you lose all concept of it when you're like, a big fame, superstar or whatever. But when you come down to basics of what makes you happy, it's like just a walk in a park and you see kids, laughing and playing, and you see flowers and you smells and sunshine, this is relaxing to me. It makes me feel brought back down to earth, like, this is what's the meaning of life, It's not all about money and fame and status.
Right.
That's
cool.
Yeah.
So what's coming up next for you then? I mean, we've talked about the website. I know you mentioned you're moving to LA. What's the near future plan?
I have a lot of new projects coming on. I just casted in an indie film. It's called Little Saigon. So that's one of the projects I'm working on. I think we will be shooting the movie in October or November. I'm launching my website. I will be, doing a lot of PR, near future, birthday, promoting, plans for, hopefully near future will be like probably 6 months from now. Obviously, I'll be opening another website, that will be, one of my ideas of how I could re-innovate porn, transsexual porn. So that's one of my ambitions. And yeah, I opened many websites and different concepts and introduce, different ideas. I have a lot. I have a lot of visions.
I like that about you.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool because I get to talk to a lot of people from do a whole lot of shit, and and sometimes I ask them what's coming up for them, and they're like, I don't know. And you know what I mean? And it's almost kind of like sad. It's like if you don't, one of my things is if you don't know what's happening or what you want to do tomorrow, then there's no point in.
Yeah, you have to keep focusing and kind of finding excitement and what feels. Life is too short, to stay home all day long.
Right on. Is there anything before I let you go that you would like to tell the world?
I'm not a bitch. I don't bite, so don't be a stranger and feel free to say hi. I'm a pretty simple, girl who's easy to talk to, in person. I'm, online and my personality, it's very easygoing along with meeting in person, but it's better to get to know me in person, or via, Skype or whatever. Yeah, just get to know me. I'm not your typical girl. So, yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Right on.
I'll leave it 3. Surprise.
Right. Well, I appreciate you for being on the show. That's really nice of you.
Pleasure for having me.
No problem. It was really nice talking to you. It was a lot of fun. I hope you had fun. We talked for a little while.
Of course. It's cool. Totally new. I'm really nervous and excited still that this is happening, but yeah, I'm very enthusiastic.
Cool. Before I let you go, are you willing to cut me like a little bumper like, hey, this is Venus Lux, you're watching Beneath Everything with Ronnie Rucker?
Sounds good.
Okay, feel free.
Hey, okay, you want me? Ready? Yeah. Hey, it's Venus Lux, with Beneath Everything with Ronnie Rucker. Is that okay?
Yeah, it's perfect. Right on. Thank you very much.